Some time ago, we got perhaps the most unexpected news regarding Classroom of the Elite Light novels, at least to me it was. The news is that we are getting Year 2 Volume 8 on October 25th. Not 7.5, but direct Volume 8. This was surprising for most reasons. The number one reason was that at the time, Volume 0 was also scheduled for the same date, although now it is delayed. So I was under the assumption that we are only going to get Volume 0 this time and maybe the next volume later on. Other reason was that going with the traditional pattern, the next Year 2 volume was expected to be Year 2 volume 7.5, but as it happens, it seems like volume 0 took the place of 7.5, or as a lot of people are hoping, we might get a new 0.5 volume like 8.5 or 9.5, but I doubt that. Now before talking about what this volume is going to be all about, I want to talk about the illustration. So as always, we get a color illustration of the volume 2 months before its release. The same thing happened this time. And oh my god, look at the illustration, I can't stress enough how good it is. Look at the background, look at the rock, look at the trees, look at the water. Their colors and their blending is so good. Also the snow falling just makes this composition all the more good. I have to say, Tomoso Sensei never disappoints with the art. And also there's Kushida, Ichinose and Horikita if you didn't notice. They seem to be in an onsen, which is a natural hot spring, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you about it. It's basically in most of the slice of life anime. So looking at the illustration, we know that they are on the trip special exam. I mean, where else they could be, because if you remember in Year 2 Volume 5, it was mentioned that there will be a trip after the cultural festival, and as far as I'm aware, they have no onsen in their school. So the big question, where are they exactly on the trip? In Year 2 Volume 5, they were given 3 options, which were Okinawa, Hokkaido and Kyoto. And Horikita's class ended up choosing Hokkaido, and looking at the illustration, I also think they are in Hokkaido. The first big hint is that they are in an onsen, and the second hint is that it's snowing. If you go back to unanimous special exam, you can see the reason. Students wanted to go to Okinawa for ocean and swimming, and you don't go for swimming in cold environment, right? And also from what I looked up on the internet, Okinawa is a place with a warm climate. And it rarely snows there. I mean, it receives snowfall, but very little. And due to its warm temperature, the number of onsen are also low in Okinawa. Whereas, on the other hand, Hokkaido is one of the places with the most onsen in Japan. Also, the students were discussing that they wanted to go skiing in Hokkaido, which means Hokkaido receives a lot of snowfall. So well, I think that the other classes did end up choosing Hokkaido. Because honestly, they already spent almost 5 volumes near ocean, and let's be honest, we don't want another one. But hold on, it's not 100% confirmed that they are in Hokkaido. I did talk about why it's not Okinawa, but what about the other option? Kyoto. Kyoto also receives snowfall and it does have a lot of onsen. So for all we know, it could also be Kyoto, and Ainakoji also wanted to go there. So Kyoto is as possible as Hokkaido. For the time being, we just know that it's not Okinawa. And I know some of you wanted them to go to Okinawa probably for some beach illustrations, then don't worry, we already got those. Some time ago, we got these extra illustrations which seemed like an alternate timeline if they went to Okinawa. Here, have a look at all of these. Now the other question I saw a lot was which one to read first, Volume 0 or Year 2 Volume 8. But now that Volume 0 has been delayed, it's obvious, right? But still, if you're watching this video in the future when both of the volumes are available to you, then of course you would go with Year 2 Volume 8 first and then Volume 0. That way it's guaranteed that you won't miss out on anything. Well, speaking of missing out, seems like this time we won't miss out on stuff. I mean, this illustration does give us some parallel to Year 1 Volume 8 illustration. So like, are we getting some really weird game? I don't know, maybe. But it does look like that it would be a huge problem for Kei. Kei doesn't want anyone to see her scar, and now that I think about it, I wonder what happened with Kei on Year 1 Volume 8. She'd have to go to a public bath at that time too, right? Looks like we finally will know, and this time it's an onsen. You can't really go to an onsen privately. So is it time that we are going to see some character development in Kei as she finally accepts her scar and body as it is and tells everyone the truth of what happened with her? Yeah, I think maybe it's time. So probably we are getting some Kei development. Speaking of which, look at Kushida. So she's growing her hair, and you know what that means. Character development. Yeah, in Classroom of the Elite, girls always show their character development by their hair. We got Horikita, Sakura, and now Kushida. So, short hair Ichinose next, maybe? I wonder about that. Anyways, in short, as of now, we can guess that they are either in Hokkaido or Kyoto, and it is the trip special exam. But we don't know if it's only for second years or for all grades. And if you are confused by that statement and you haven't watched this theory video, then I highly recommend watching it. It's about how the trip is most probably only exclusively for second years and how Nagumo might fight Ainakoji maybe on the trip or later on. And well, we can't know much about Year 2 Volume 8 just from this illustration, there will be more news of it on the way. However, as of now, what I do know is that it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the release of Year 2 Volume 8 and also Volume 0. So guys, let me know your thoughts on this, and with that, I will see you all in the next one.